Hello, welcome to module two, sorry. You are at the beginning of week 3 of your work in MELS 605, and I'm going to talk to you about the work that you're responsible for completing this week. So, by Monday, February 4th at 5 p.m., you should have read or viewed the following content, and I'll show you how to find it all in just a minute. Complete the week 3 discussion board threads, and if you're staying on track with getting feedback on your artifacts, by February 4th you should have the third artifact. I'm just backing up a little bit. The third artifact submitted for comment request on TaskStream. Now, I've done it as artifact 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. You can go in a different order if you like. So this is artifact 3 this week. Looking ahead, just to give you a heads up, by Monday, February 11th at 5 p.m., I'd like for you to have submitted artifact 5 to me through the assignment Dropbox. 5E is the assignment for the course, but in order to assess 5E correctly, I need to see all of artifact 5 from you, please, in the assignment Dropbox by Monday, February the 11th at 5 p.m. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Module 2. Module 2 is focusing on cultural leadership. If you open your North Carolina School Executive Principal and Assistant Principal Evaluation Process document, which can be found in Module 2 right here, North Carolina Standards for Executive Leaders, it's here, it's also here. And look for cultural leadership, that is standard 3. And cultural leadership is really about understanding the people, how they, in the school, how they came to their current state, and how to connect with the traditions of the school in order to move forward to achieve individual and collective goals. So it may involve It does involve understanding culture in order to influence change, working within the culture of a school to influence change. So I'd like for you to review the information on cultural leadership here in the North Carolina Executive Standards document. And then you will, let me look at these. Here is your discussion board. So I can click it here, or as you know, I can also click into discussions to find Module 2, Week 3, Cultural Leadership. You have several discussion boards this time. Organizational transformation is the first. As I already talked about, cultural leadership is about understanding the organization in which you're working in order to affect change or affect transformation. So I'd like for you to review the standards and then read Hersey chapter 17, paying attention particularly to figures 17.1 and 17.2, and think about how would you diagnose your site in terms of readiness for transformation and why. What strategies might an executive leader implement at your site to impact the culture? You'll find that this module aligns really nicely to some of the work that you did in your organizational management piece. So the OMA was artifact 4, and you'll see a lot of overlap between the information that you find in this module and in artifact 4. Okay, so that's your first discussion board question for the week, and it focuses on those standards and on Chapter 17. Your next discussion board focuses on principle-centered leadership. In order to answer these questions about principle-centered leadership, you're going to need to look at some resources that are in your content, your additional resources for the module, to look at some of the work from Covey. There's a Covey supplement PowerPoint and a slide share on characteristics of principle-centered leaders. And I'd like for you to consider the following. Consider which characteristics of principle-centered leadership you consider to be strengths and which you would like to develop. How might you go about that development? Let me show you just a moment where that information can be found. If you go into course content and into module 2, you can see organizational transformation. There's an organizational transformation webinar. That'll help you also, with discussion board question number 1. And then the Covey Supplement PowerPoint and the Principle-Centered Characteristics PowerPoint are both found in number 3. So if you look in number 3 here, Systems Thinking, click on that. You'll be able to see the Covey Supplement, and there's another additional PowerPoint here, and then Characteristics of Principle-Centered Leaders you link to as an external slide share. Okay, so again, that's in number 3. The required resources are this Covey PowerPoint and the Characteristics of Principle-Centered Leaders. You are certainly welcome to view this other PowerPoint, but it is not required. Okay, so that tells you about those 2 PowerPoints. Then you're also going to be reading in your custom text, chapter 26, and then you'll be viewing some videos in PD360. So let's look for just a moment at number 4, Planning and Implementing Change. This lets you know here, you go to pd360.com. Your login is gwuonline@gardner-web.edu, password PD360. You're going to view the video program entitled Classic, Managing Change, and view segments 5, 6, and 7 only. So let me show you how to find that. I'm going to pd360.com. gwuonline@gardner-web is the login. PD360 is the password. And then if you will look at right here, PD videos, click on that. And then you can see you can browse by program here. You want program highlighted. Flip that caret down to look at all the programs that are available to you. And right down here, Classic Managing Change is the one we're looking for. It's at the very bottom. And there are 7 segments. Your requirement is to view segments 5, 6, and 7. Okay. And then you have some specific discussion questions about those videos. I'm going to go to the discussion board now to show you those. Here, Planning and Implementing Change. You'll read Hersey, Chapter 16, the Custom Text, Chapter 26, and view the 3 PD360 videos and respond to the following. Reflect on changing the conditions of teaching as discussed on pages 428 and 429 in the custom text. How has the work you've done within the MELS program improved one or more of the conditions of teaching? And then respond thoughtfully and critically. So think about how you can integrate content from Chapter 16, Chapter 26, and the PD360 videos to think about how what you've done has improved conditions of teaching. You might also talk about things you could have done better in order to improve the conditions of teaching. Finally, this week, there's a little bit of prep work that we need to do for week 4. And I don't expect this. I wrote it would take you 5 minutes. It will probably take you less than 5 minutes. Just take a few minutes to write down a problem that you are having as a teacher or a problem you know a teacher in your school is having. A problem can be any kind of a school-based problem. And we'll use those problems as part of our work in week 4. Okay, I hope that you all have a good week. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to post them to the discussion board, either under questions for the instructor here, or you might also post them into course messages and just send me a message through there. Okay, have a great week. Thank you.